Oh, yeah. Take me to that higher plane of being. Because we're in Chicago, and in Chicago, our politicians want to give people more money. So what they're doing is pushing the minimum wage. They're all arguing. They're fighting. They're pushing the idea, I love the poor more than you, or I love people more than you. Lauren Cohn, you love them more than me. Let's just make sure they get a bigger minimum wage. And I like the idea, except some scientist of economics or expert in economics told me that you can artificially increase the minimum wage to as high as you want, and it really doesn't. All it does is, it doesn't really create wealth. It doesn't. It doesn't work. But people do it, and we're doing it.
Well, and it's all political move. It's all like, okay, we're going to do something nice for you. You give us your vote. You're going to have a couple more bucks in your pocket. It's going to spur the economy. I don't think so. I don't think they're focusing on real job creation and long-term job creation and these people who are making minimum wage having a pathway out of it to get a better job.
On the other hand, you know that there are a lot of corporations that would want to screw workers any chance they get. So it's a back and forth thing. But I'm worried about the small business owner, the guy who really, and the man and woman who really employs most of the people in this country, small business. 2 or 3 workers, 5 workers, 10. How do you deal with that? That's what we ask people to call in, 591-8900.
Hey, let's take some calls. Good morning, Jim. You're on 89 WLS. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, John. Good morning, Lauren. I'm a small business owner out in Mokina, New Lenox, and I have a franchise. But the last 5 years, the minimum wage going up is going to probably just put the fork in me. I'm a nurse. I own a small business, and I have to work a second full-time job just to make ends meet. So I come from the school of thought that this is not about uplifting the human condition. It's going to enslave the human condition, and it's just really going to have a devastating effect on the small business owner because we are local in the community. We employ local kids, high school kids in junior colleges, and it is a struggle because of the current economy. I mean, there's a whole litany of things: your cost, your rent, your FICA contribution, your taxes. If you're lucky enough to have a 401k plan, and this is going to directly devastate my income and my ability as a small business owner to feed my family.
Jim, let me ask you a question. I don't know what your business is, but is your first step to counter this, I got to raise prices and pass it on to the consumer, or I'm going to have to let people go?
You know what? I've reached the threshold where customers will purchase my product, so I'm going to have to let people go, and I'm just going to have to look for ways to be more efficient. I mean, this is off the Richter scale. They're placating on people's emotion, and they're really not uplifting people. I mean, I did not go start my small business till I was 36 years old. And I went back to college to get a degree at 31. So, I mean, I come from I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I don't have a silver spoon, but I'm self-made, and I didn't rely on a politician setting a minimum wage for me.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for the call.
Man.
It's going to be really tough on small business owners. And it seems like it's the trend, across the country. I mean, they're talking about $13 an hour over 4 years. So what will we see? $10 within 2015, and the state will raise and
who doesn't work? Who ends up not getting the job?
Do you think that it will make the city jobs more competitive than those in the suburbs? If it's $13 an hour and you make sandwiches and you work in Displays and you're good at what you do and you want to continue doing that, would you go to the city then? You see what I'm saying?
You mean
because you've almost got the city competing?
You've
almost got the city competing with the suburbs then.
Right. Depending on what you get paid.
Yeah.
What about workman's comp? What about all those other things that people, the Illinois, particularly in Chicago, workman's comp is out of whack compared to the other states. We are going to lose, not win here. And the whole idea of you didn't build that. These people who are talking like this, who are talking about minimum wage and all that, they've never run a business. They're politicians. They've never made a payroll. All they are hacks who have their hand out, sucking up to somebody and taking their money. That's what they do. you didn't build that. Right.
Good morning, Alan. You're on 89 WLS with John and Lauren. What do you think?
Good morning, you guys. You are both learned individuals. John, when money is taken by raising the minimum wage, you are absolutely correct. It's a redistribution. You're not creating wealth. You're merely spreading it around. And Lauren, you said something about laying people off. There's a term called substitution effect. I may buy equipment to replace the labor. Mm-hmm. And John, you also mentioned the secondary cost, that is unemployment, disability, workman's comp. Absolutely. They're gonna raise proportion to the raise in the minimum wage. I look at the value of the output of my worker. I want at the end of the day to net a profit. If there is no profit, there is no job.
Yeah, it's the bottom line. Alan, good call.
Thanks,
Good call. Should we take another breath? Let's all breathe together. Ooh. Let it out so that
I'm breathing like a seal.
Call.
I'm breathing like a penguin with a seal in the way.
Or you're going to tell me about the penguin and the seal.
We'll talk about
and
that
how
later.
they go off into the sunset together later on in the show. Stay tuned for that, folks. But first, let's take Mike and give Mike the last word on this. Hey, Mike.
Hi. I'm third generation doing a family business, and I'm out of Joliet. The majority of my business goes to Chicago, my sales, and we sell to the bakeries and the small mom and pop's bakery, and they make the cakes and the counter girls and everything else. The thing that they're actually going to kill the goose here in Chicago is all it's going to do is raise the FICA, like your other callers have said. It's going to raise the FICA. It's going to raise the work comp where those people are working in that business, because there's different rates. The money is just going to go back into the system. It's never going to make the street to everybody's pocket to spend.
Great point, Mike. We're with you.
Mikey, thank you.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right. Take another deep breath for this one. A new Gallup poll released says that 1 in 3 Americans say they have to put off treatment for themselves or a family member because, John, of the high cost of health care. Are you one of them? Let us know. All right, John. So all the exchanges are, this is the time. Sign up for the Affordable Care Act because you're gonna get a deal. You're gonna be able to afford health care. Well, a new Gallup poll says that 1 in 3 Americans say they have put off treatment for themselves or a family member because of the cost of health care. 38% of middle-class people with a household income of between $30,000 and $75,000 per year have delayed medical care because of costs, up 33% from last year. Wow. 28% of households earning above $75,000 said they delayed care this year compared to just 17% in 2013.
So I guess we relied on the stupidity of the American voter to get that through.
We were Gruberized. Is that what you mean?
Totally.
Mr. Gruber lied to us?
Grubered up right in the ear.
So I'm curious from our listeners, 312-591-8900, are you one of these people that are all of a sudden, hey, I've got to delay getting important treatment for myself, getting even checkups for myself or a family member because I can't afford health insurance? If that is really the trend, even with all these exchanges opening and not nearly as many people signed up for the Affordable Care Act as we thought, you got to remember this is a huge sector of our economy. This is devastating to me, and the fact that this president riding right into everything with I'm going to change the system so every American has access to health care and affordable health care, and then people are. They can't afford it. I'm looking at premiums where they're saying annual deductibles of $1,300 or $2,600, premiums as high as $5,000.
But are those the people that the president's worried about? The people that end up paying more in premiums, or is he worried about the people who never had health care and will basically get health care because others are paying higher premiums?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what has just happened. You hit the nail on the head.
Right. So in other words, his vote, he offered your stuff, extras, to other people. You would pay for it. Mm-hmm. And no one said what it was. We didn't say it's taken from Lauren Cohn to give to John Cass. No one said it.
Right. So now
it was just, and then people mocked you if you dared criticize it. Mm-hmm. You were mocked as some sort of tea partier, right? Tea partier or some whatever the biscuit eating liberal journalists say.
Right. So you have hardworking middle-class Americans who suddenly healthcare was canceled, or they suddenly found out that their premiums and what they're paying are going up, and they said, I can't afford this. So now I'm not even going to get the treatment that I need, and I can't afford it, and I lost my doctor. And yet, so wait, the other people who couldn't afford health care are getting into the exchanges. Oh, but not really, because they don't have as many people. And now more middle-class Americans are dropping health care, so it's even worse than it was before.
You know what I want to do? I want to quit. I want to go on welfare. I want to sit on my butt, and I just want to go fishing. That's it. I'm tired of all this. I got to fight for this and that and the other. I just want to give up now. I'm going to get into a fetal position, have Lord Cohn fix me some turkey soup from the refrigerator, watch my seal penguin sex, and just say to heck with it.
You're going to have to set up a hot burner in the little hobbit hole that you're building for me back on the Cass property.
Man.
Oh, Candace, good morning. You're on 89 WLS. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. I hope you had a great holiday. Hey, I just want to say, forget $5,000. Most people are paying right now, if you make $100,000 a year, which is like making $50,000 15 years ago, you're paying a $7,000 deductible, okay? Most people cannot afford that because, making what they're making, they need a new car like 7 years ago, and they can't afford to get anything done to their house anymore because the municipalities have made it so expensive to do anything and pull for codes. So, $7,000, are you kidding me? Right now, that's what we've had for the past, ever since Obamacare has passed, our deductible went from like $3,000 to $7,000. Okay, so we don't use our insurance. We lie when we go to the doctor, and they know what's going on too. The doctors know that people can't afford to pay a $7,000 deductible to go to the doctor that you want. Okay.
So how do you lie? What do you mean you lie?
I say, I don't have insurance. It's very simple. No, I don't have insurance, and I want to pay cash. And guess what? When you pay in cash for goods and services, everything is totally cheaper. Like, for instance, I wanted to have an MRI instead of a mammogram because my breast tissue is very dense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say it's a waste of my time. So my health insurance company wanted $3,000 some for the MRI through them, okay? That was my deductible to pay. I went to River North, and I had, an MRI for $600 on my breast, okay? And then I have a lot of clients, some of our doctors, and I had them read it, okay? Because I'm not paying $3,000 to have what everybody should have in this country, okay? You should pay something for it, okay? Nothing should be free. But to pay $3,000 through insurance is ridiculous.
You're right. You're right, Candace. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable what she just went through.
That is just sick. Thanks, Candace.
Candace, wow. It's just breaking my heart to hear these stories. Hey, Michael, you're on 89 WLS with John and Lauren.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Mike.
I had a couple of comments. First off, the insurance, I was a policeman for 23 years, and I had to give that up because the health care costs became $1,100 a month from $80 a month. And my second comment is because of that, I tried to make my house affordable. And because I had a college degree, and even though over half my hourly wage was going for health care premiums, I ended up losing my house and my marriage. And that, you were talking earlier about the minimum wage. When the premiums go up, even though you have a college degree, you can't afford it. They actually told me it would have been better for me to get a job flipping burgers or pumping gas than to try and save my house.
Jesus.
Wow, Michael, thank you for the call and sharing that with us. It's just,
Thanks,
it's just, John, it's one horrible story after another.
Keep taking it. Keep taking it. Let people make you feel guilty for wanting to keep what you got. Just keep taking it, Chumbalones, because that's what we're doing. Slap me in the mouth. Yes, sir. May I please have another?